What's up, everyone? Odin here. It's definitely been a while. The short answer is that I used to live in Kiev. Now I don't live in Kiev. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about Quake instead. So I came across this interesting thread on Reddit. I took a screenshot. Let me read this really quick. Title is Barriers to Entry. This person goes on to say, I reinstalled this game after a 5-year break. I love arena shooters and would love to see them make a comeback. That being said, I uninstalled the game after maybe 6 hours of having it installed. Why? There's no room for lower skilled players to find any enjoyment in this game. I played my placement matches in solo duel and went 0-10. I then played a few more games and lost all of them. None of them were even, quote, close battles, unquote. I finished with negative 130 skill rating, and even being paired against someone with an ELO of 3, I still got stomped. I don't mind losing, but I also don't like playing a game where I feel like there is no hope of my ever winning. Before I uninstalled, I checked, and my rank was 1,530 out of 1,600, so bottom 5% of all players. And it would probably be lower if I kept playing. I have played FPS games since 1993. And while I'm not great at them, I don't consider myself to be as close to the worst player of all time as this game made me feel. I don't know what the solution is. Maybe just wanted to complain about how the arena shooter community bemoans the lack of interest in the game, but whenever a lower skilled player expresses interest in playing it, they are immediately discouraged from even trying because they are just signing up to get stomped relentlessly. Now, before we get into this, I blurred the name of this person. This video is not directed towards this individual at all. In fact, it has nothing to do with this person at all. In this video, I'm going to speak to the overarching element of what this post represents, which is that modern gamers blaming Quake, the game, or the community, or the lack of in-game tutorials, or whatever, anything except themselves, right? I believe at the end of this video, the arguments I present will be ironclad and that you'll agree with me. So I've seen many threads like this before, and now it's, in my opinion, it's time somebody spoke about the reality of Quake. Just the reality and what the true barrier to entry to Quake really is. Now, this individual says they love FPS and arena shooters, but I have to ask, only after 6 hours, after a 5-year break, they uninstalled Quake. Why? Why did you do that? Now, my suspicion is because after 6 hours, this person didn't, quote, feel that they had the experience that they should have. That they're not as bad of a player as the game made them feel. In fact, they don't think they should be ranked as one of the worst players in Quake for some reason. They should be better after only 6 hours. Now, again, if I may ask this individual, why? Why did you think you'd be slapping and clapping in Quake, of all games, just after 6 hours, after a 5-year break? Now, this is an unreasonable expectation. If we were to extrapolate this to any other element of life, we would all understand unequivocally that such an expectation is asinine. Okay, let's take piano, right? Guitar, singing, songwriting, mixing and mastering. Hell, even writing in cursive. You know, anything takes time. And at the beginning, you're not going to be good. Okay, and if so, why would you assume this if you know already that you're not great at arena FPS games? Okay, not to mention, this individual here says they've been playing first-person shooter games since 1983. Okay, well, there are many people who have played consistently since 1993. So where in your 6 hours of play should you have expected to sniff a victory from a player base that most likely has been consistently playing this style of game since like 1996? Okay, now I'm not picking on this individual, okay? I'm merely trying to get, my audience at this point to understand the insanity of this expectation that this player has. And so this style of post comes up time and time again. And it's always the same, okay? The player tries the game, the player loses a bunch, the player doesn't like it, the player uninstalls the game, then the player goes to Reddit or a forum or whatever, a Steam community forum about the game, and then says, oh yeah, Quake doesn't have enough tutorials. It's not, there's not enough content for new players to be friendly. And then the player leaves. Now I must ask you, is it really the game? Or would we be remiss to tell the truth, the true reality of the situation? And so I'm going to do that right now. The reality is that the real barrier to entry to Quake Champions or Quake or Arena FPS of any description is not the game. It's not crouch sliding, it's not rocket jumping, it's not strafe jumping, it's none of that. Item timing, none of that. The barrier is you. It's you and your lack of desire to actually practice and understand the game so that you can become better. Now, here at the end of this post, the individual gaslights the community, saying that we should want more tutorials and so on. Training material. There's not enough training material so that people like him will feel better playing the game. Okay, so do we, as the Quake community, wish there were more players? Yes, of course. We wish that Quake was the pinnacle game and that it attracted tens of thousands of players and people at QuakeCon. The whole freaking con that's named after the game. Yeah, of course this is our desire, but we also fundamentally understand something about the game. And that is modern gamers just can't play the game. They are not strong enough to play the game. They're not emotionally strong enough to play Quake. Now, the basic reason has nothing to do with us as a community. Okay, we don't have a superiority complex. We certainly don't. But it has to do with the basic understanding that we understand something. We understand that playing Quake means getting dunked, clapped, slapped, pumped, blown out. I mean, it means that a single mistake can cost us the entire game. It means ultimately that Quake as a game is a black hole, a game that can never ever fully be completed or mastered. There's always something that you can do to improve your game. And, for us, the Quake community, getting better at the game is the goal, right? Being able to understand, move, shoot, play the game at a high level, that's the point of playing the game. It's not about in-game achievements. It's not about unlocking weapons or loadouts or character skins. It's about understanding the game, understanding that we have to earn the ability, earn the skill, earn earn the right to start quote winning games. Okay, and that the process will take time and will be frustrating and painful. Okay, but that feeling is offset because the first time that you hit bridge to rail, oh my god, or winning for the first time, winning your first duel, where your opponent didn't frag you at all, or perfectly executing a rocket jump, being able to move around the map, strafe jump, crouch strike, really start to effortlessly play the game where you can creatively think about what you want to do and you can execute it. That's fucking amazing. And those feelings of accomplishment, having put the work in and being able to do that is why we play the game. It's not about in-game achievements and any this other meaningless crap. Okay, and this is precisely what the modern gamer has no idea about. It has been completely sucked out of them. Call of Duty and any game that instantly rewards them for, for fucking breathing. Okay, this has ruined the modern gamer. And as such, we get posts like this on Reddit periodically where players earnestly expect, that Quake should make them feel good. And that they shouldn't feel bad for losing or being a bad player, that the game has wronged them. And this really speaks to a bigger societal problem in general, but this video is not about that, so let's skip that bit, all right? Now, finally, I'd like to speak to the point where individuals responding to this post were basically going, yeah, Quake should have more tutorial content, blah, blah. Listen, there are channels all over YouTube, not mine really to a degree, but there are Quake Pro League players like Venger, okay, that have made videos, Zeneku, that have made videos telling you exactly how to play the fucking game, how to execute movement, what to do, when to do it, why to do it, how to use the weapons, okay, and things that you need to practice in the game. The tutorial content's already there. But alas, it always comes back to the common denominator of why new players don't stay. Quake is hard. Losing sucks. And modern gamers aren't emotionally strong enough to handle it. Now, I raise this final point. If there are any people out there willing to play and master grand strategy games, for example, like Hearts of Iron, like that game is just significantly, orders of magnitude more complicated than Quake. If people find enjoyment in games like that, where you are quite literally reading thousands of pages of text to understand how to play the damn game, listen, a person can learn and put in the effort to play Quake. I am just not convinced that the game is the problem. However, I think it comes down to a case of instant gratification. Most gamers have been bred through this. You know, games have instantly gratified. Ooh, you got 2 kills. Ding, 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 ding. Achievement, achievement, achievement. Ding, ding, unlock, unlock, achievement. New skill level. Ding, 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 ding. And that's what modern gamers are expecting. You know, the moment most modern gamers are going to start to realize the amount of work, dedication, practice, and emotional maturity is required to play Quake, they're just going to bounce. All right? It has nothing to do with how many or how few resources, tutorials, hand-holding bullshit, anything about learning how to play the game. Okay? It has nothing to do with that. So that's a myth. I want to put that to bed right now. Now, if you want to get good at the game, here's the answer. Play the fucking game. Put time into the game. Practice the skills that Quake Pro League players like Wenger and Zeniku have made videos publicly on their YouTube channels telling you how to play the game, and practice that. You have to practice. Alright? I think Vitality made this pretty clear 20 years ago. Practice, 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 practice. You gotta practice. Practice some more. Practice, 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 practice. Okay? Stop blaming the game. Take responsibility for your own growth. You know, Quake is gonna show you exactly where you stand as an arena FPS player. It's your true ranking. I'm sorry, individual who wrote this post. That's your true skill. And I'm sorry that it took you to play this game to find out where you actually stand in the world of arena FPS or FPS in general, when you're not getting OP loadouts, fucking score streaks, you know, points for dying 3 times in a row, okay? I'm sorry that this is the first time you've seen what your actual skill is. It's unfortunate. You know, I'm not saying you're a bad individual, and I'm not saying I'm better than you, but that's not the point of this video. And again, this video is not a dick measuring contest between which community is better. That's not even an argument. Quake players are the better community. They are the better players. This is just facts. Objectively, Quake players are better at first-person shooters. Okay? Mechanically and skill-based. My point is that it doesn't mean we are better people. I'm not saying that. And it doesn't mean you can't enjoy different FPS games or arena shooter games. That's not the point. My point is that if you want to get good at Quake, you have to play the game. And you have to understand that you're going to start at the bottom, and you have to earn every way up to the top. Okay? And any Quake player that sees a new person really honestly putting in the effort, not bitching, not complaining, not weh, but actually asking thoughtful questions, wanting to get better at the game, reaching out to the community, joining the Discord, so on and so forth, you'll be treated and guided just fine. But you have to understand, as every other Quaker knows, you're going to have to walk that path on your own. We can help, but we can't do it for you. Right? So play Quake. Get good at Quake if you want. Reap the rewards of dedication, discipline, consistency. Because that's what it's going to take to get good at Quake. You can't take 5 years off and then play for 6 hours and expect you're going to do anything in the game. That's ridiculous. Now, whether or not you're willing to put the work in is up to you, which means the barrier to entry for Quake is not the game, but it's your willingness, or lack thereof, to accept the hard work required to get good and learn how to play. So, are you going to do that? I don't know. You don't have to if you don't want to. No one's forcing you. But writing these kind of posts, all I see, and all any other Quake player sees, It's just a person complaining that they don't want to work that hard. They want to feel like they're a good player instead of actually being a good player. And in the real world of reality and objectivity, that's just not going to work out. Okay, so that'll do it for this video. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.